close your eyes. Take a deep, deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and exhale with a sigh. The first practice through these few breaths is just detaching from whatever happened in your day, detaching from whatever still sits on your to-do list, and detaching from whatever may come tomorrow. Entering a present place. We'll start with a breathing technique called 3-part breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Feel your belly expand. It pushes forward. And as you exhale, feel your belly fall back in towards your spine. Do that 4 more times. Inhale, your belly expands. And as you exhale, your belly falls back into your spine. Two more rounds on your own. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose, just feeling your stomach rise and fall. Good. Let that go. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. Sigh out through your mouth. And now we'll move up to your rib cage. So as you inhale, try this. Inhale, press your belly forward, and then also expand through your rib cage. And as you exhale, soften your rib cage, then soften your stomach. Inhale, your belly expands, as do your ribs. Exhale, relax your ribs. Relax your stomach. 3 more times. Inhale, press your belly forward. Expand your ribs. Exhale, soften your ribs. Soften your belly. 1 more breath like that. Good. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth wide. Exhale all your air. And now we'll try full 3-part breath. So this breath will expand your belly, your ribs, and then your chest across your collarbones, your heart. Try it together. Inhale, press your belly forward, expand through your ribs, lift and open across your chest. Exhale, soften your chest, soften your ribs, soften your belly. If you're more tactile, you can place your hands on these parts. Inhale, lift your belly, your ribs, and your heart. Exhale, soften your heart, soften your ribs, soften your stomach. Inhale, your stomach is expanding, your ribs are expanding, your chest is expanding. Exhale, relax your chest, relax your ribs, relax your stomach. Last time. Inhale, your whole torso opens and expands. And as you exhale, every part of it softens and retreats back to your spine. Place your hands together at your heart center. Take a regular deep breath in through your nose. Exhale out through your mouth. And think about something that you might benefit from detaching from. Maybe a fear or a worry, a person, a project. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, let it go. Blink open your eyes. Inhale, sweep both arms up overhead. Look towards your fingers. Exhale, lower your hands down through your heart. Really good. 2 more times. Inhale, sweep your arms up, waking up your arms. Exhale, lower your hands to your heart. Last time, inhale, stretch both arms up. And exhale, release your hands to your heart. Take your right hand onto the floor beside you. Inhale, scoop your left arm up and over. You're looking for a deep lateral bend, a side body stretch. As you reach that top arm up and over, turn your gaze down, push both sit bones into the floor. Inhale, open across your rib cage. Exhale, sink a little deeper towards the earth. Inhale, you're stretching the side of your body. Exhale, soften. Breathe even deeper this last time. See if that breath can deepen your stretch. And as you exhale, release further to the floor. Slowly drift your body back up through center. Both arms stretch up before you reach over in the opposite direction. Stabilize here, root down through both sit bones, extend out through your top arm, and turn your gaze down. Inhale, right into your side ribs. Exhale, soften. Feel that stretch all the way out through your fingertips. Inhale, expand under your armpit. Exhale, release closer to the floor. Your last breath in, take big, big gulps of air through your nose. And as you exhale, soften towards the floor. Inhale, reach both arms back up, arms spread wide. Good. Rotate towards one side. Let's go to the right. Take your left hand across your top right thigh. Your right hand walks behind you. Inhale, lift your gaze up. Exhale, turn behind you. Stay here, breathe in, reach up through the crown of your head. Exhale, look back behind you. Inhale, stretch both arms up to the sky. Spread your fingers wide as you do this. Exhale, rotate in the opposite direction. When you get there, inhale, spring up through the crown of your head. Exhale, look back behind you. Inhale, hug your belly in, lengthen your spine. Exhale, deepen your rotation. Inhale, lift both arms up overhead, and this time reach them back behind you so you pierce your chest forward. You'll feel compression in your lower back. Exhale, your palms come back down through heart center. Interlace your hands, and just start to move your wrists. So you're dancing and swinging and sweeping your wrists around and around and around, easing any tension. Really, really good. One more movement here. Take your arms wide, really, really wide, really long, and start to create tiny circles with your arms. Slow, slow, slow circles. So small and slow circles, moving your arms. If you start to lose feeling in your fingers, just wiggle your fingers or take a little break. See if you can connect with your breath. The tendency here is to hold your breath. Connect with your breath. Take big, long inhales as you start to drive these circles a little bit bigger. Bigger circles, but keep them nice and slow. And this really slow work will start to creep up on you as your circles get bigger and slower. Your biceps, maybe your triceps begin to feel the work happening. And if you start to take your circles way, way bigger, you'll find the edge of your arm and your shoulders range of motion. Good. Keep breathing. Notice if your core is stable or if you're really rocking back and forth, side to side. And if that's the case, you might want to activate or hug into your midline. So this feels like zipping your belly button towards your spine. Good. Flick your fingers on the next big circle just to get some blood moving, and then turn your arms nice and wide in the opposite direction. So the point of so much movement, the theory of exercise, is that if you don't move it, you lose it. You need to move your body in order to prevent atrophy, in order to prevent dysfunction of your muscles and your tissues. And so we'll just do lots of nice dynamic movements today. Start to draw smaller circles. Catch yourself if you're trying to speed up and make it go faster. Make sure your breath is steady. Good. And now your circles are getting really small and your muscles are starting to curse you. Maybe, maybe not. Small, small circles. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Bend at your elbows. Stay with me. Pulse your arms in and out for 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep going and you'll start to uncover the fusion. The word hatha means sun and moon, yin and yang. It's like fire and water, these calm, really organic, energetic movements met with more muscular, fiery movements. Do 2 more pulsations here. 1, 2. Bring your hands to your heart. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth wide and exhale. Roll forward, come down onto all fours. And come down onto all fours and stack up your joints. So your shoulders are above your wrists, your hips are above your knees. Inhale, drop your belly to the floor, loop your shoulders back, lift your heart and your chest. Now, as you exhale, round into your upper back, tuck your chin to your chest and look towards your belly. This is called cat-cow. You'll move through these spinal undulations as fast or as slow as you'd like for the next minute. So just keep moving through these shapes, extension and flexion of your spine for 1 minute's time. I'll let you know when your time is up. Gently find your way back to a neutral spine, Take your hands 1 footprint forward. So move your hands 1 footprint forward above your shoulders, beyond your shoulders. You can watch me the first round or join right in. In a moment, you'll inhale, drop your belly, lift your heart, lift your chest, look up. And as you exhale, you can round your spine, push the floor away with your hands and sink your hips back towards your heels. This is child's pose. From there, you will inhale, drape your body forward through that dumped spine, through that big, big arc spine into your cow shape. And then you'll take it back into cat pose and funnel your hips right back to your heels. So this is more of a mobile cat-cow. You're slithering in and out of the shape. Start to move through this at your own pace. We have a few breaths here. The next time your hips come down towards your heels, bring your big toes together, land your forehead on the floor, and settle into child's pose. Take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale here out through your mouth. Now keep your hips as they are, but simply walk your hands over towards the right. So you're getting that lateral side body stretch again. Walk your hands over towards the right. Press the floor away with your right hand. You might even walk your right hand on top of your left hand and take 3 breaths here, in and out through your nose. So from this point on in your practice, you're always breathing in and out through your nose. Of course, when you finished your 3 breaths in that right side stretch, could you simply crisscross your palms in the opposite direction? Walk your hands over to the left and find the opposite stretch along your armpit, along this big, deep lateral line of tissue in your body. 3 big breaths here. Good. Walk your hands back forward, plant them on the floor, and lift right up onto all fours again. If you have sensitive knees, you can roll up your side of your yoga mat for some extra padding or place a blanket under your knees. We'll be here for a bit. And now take your left hand, stretch your left hand forward as you kick your right leg back. Left hand forward, right leg back. Inhale, lift your right heel, lift your left thumb. You're in that arched spine. And as you exhale, tap your knee towards your elbow, round into your upper back. Inhale to extend and open. Exhale, please close and compress. Inhale to expand. Exhale to compress. Keep moving through this action like your body's being pulled by a puppeteer string, opening wide and then closing back in. See if you can fuse your inhales and your exhales with the movements themselves. And remember, as you pull everything in, you're arcing your upper back or puffing between your shoulder blades. Really good work. Keep going here for 5. I know it gets tricky after this much time. Just push through. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release that hand and knee down. Take a full cycle of cat-cow. So drop your belly to the floor, peel your shoulders back, lift your heart in your chest. Exhale, round into your upper back, puff between your shoulder blades, drop your head and gaze down. When you come back through neutral, the opposite side meets you there. So now your left leg stretches back as your right hand extends forward. Find stability here first. You're using core stability to hold you in this shape. And now can you move your body through this crunching and extending? Tapping your knee towards your elbow. If it doesn't touch, that's okay. If you feel unsteady, maybe take your left arm a little wider. Keep steady, steady breath. You have a full minute here, just playing with fusing breath and movement. The next time you go into full extension, hold there. Release both hands and both knees to the floor. Take your knees wide, bring your big toes to touch, and sink your hips down towards your heels. Keep your torso lifted. Take your left hand onto the floor. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, scoop your right arm under your left arm and drop your right ear to the floor. Meanwhile, you can reach your left fingers forward and maybe even walk them towards the right long edge of your yoga mat. Now, if your right ear doesn't make it to the floor, place a cushion or a pillow underneath your right ear. We are here for 5. Twisted child's pose. 4, 3, 2, 1 more breath in. Exhale completely. Ground into your left hand. Release your right hand from underneath of you. Stretch it all the way back up to the ceiling. And as you lower your right hand down, could you now lift your left arm up? scoop your left arm underneath your right arm, lower your left ear to the floor, and walk your right fingers up overhead. Feel free to place something under your left ear for support. Now your right fingers can stay here, or they might tiptoe across your yoga mat. This drives deeper torsion into your spine, so if it hurts, don't do it. But if it feels good, can you continually wander those fingers away from your right side and push your fingers into the floor while pressing your hips towards your heels? Breathe here. Release your right hand directly out in front. Push through your right hand to pull your left arm up and out. And now your left hand meets the floor and your whole body pulses back up onto all fours. Flex your feet, puff between your shoulder blades, look forward. Could you lift just your knees a few inches away from the floor? Spread your fingers wide and grip all 10 fingertips towards the floor like you're trying to pull your mat towards your knees. Squeeze your belly into your spine, then press your hands into the earth to push yourself up and back, downward facing dog. Send your hips high. Begin to walk your feet. So bend into your left knee, bend into your right knee. This is called walking the dog. Let your head hang heavy. Maybe shake your head yes or no. You can stick out your tongue. You can make a big sigh on an exhale here. But now we come to stillness. So come into stillness in your downward dog. Spread your fingers wide and root down through your index finger and your thumbs. Externally rotate your upper arms. That means you feel your shoulder blades moving away from your body and the eyes of your elbows drifting towards the ceiling. Push your chest back towards your thighs. Draw your ribs in and your tailbone down. So it feels like you're puffing in your lumbar spine. Engage your thighs by drawing your kneecaps up towards your hips. Good. And root down through the big toe mounds of both feet. Feel a lift from the inner arches of your feet. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, look forward. Take wide, slow steps all the way to the top of your yoga mat. And when you get there, press your hands into your shins. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway. Exhale, fold forward, catch opposite elbows, and begin to rock your torso like a rag doll from left to right. Your head is heavy here, dumping out any distractions, anything you need to detach from that's still lingering. Now lower your hands to the floor, push through the four corners of both feet and start to walk your hands all the way up your body. Come to stand. There's a huge shift in blood pressure when you get here, so take mountain pose for 5 breaths. Your palms are alongside your body. Your eyes are either closed or drifting down the ridge of your nose. 5 deep breaths here, in and out through your nose. Let's start to move a little quicker. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead. And exhale, swan dive down to the floor. Inhale, press your hands into your shins, lift your heart and lift your chest. Listen carefully. Exhale, drop your hands to the floor, step just your right leg back, drop your right knee and the top of your right foot to the floor. Scissor your inner thighs together. Inhale, both arms up. You're in a low lunge. Good. Exhale here, soften through your hips. Inhale, reach your arms back behind you. Good. Exhale, plant your palms on the floor, push back, downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Inhale, look forward, listen carefully. Step your right foot forward, drop your left knee to the floor, drop the top of your left foot on the floor. Squeeze your inner thighs towards one another. You're really activating your legs as you drift your arms up overhead. Now sink your right knee deeper until it lands above your ankle. Press through the top of your left foot. Lower your hands down to frame your front foot. Lift up onto the ball of your left foot and step all the way forward. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale to fold. Root down through the four corners of your feet to rise all the way back up to standing. Arms outstretched overhead. Exhale your hands to your heart. Find mountain pose. Let's try that again. Inhale, sweep your arms up high. Exhale, open your arms out to either side this time to swan dive down to the earth. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step your left leg back, drop your left knee to the floor, drop the top of your left foot to the floor. Scissor your inner thighs together. Inhale, both arms, stretch up overhead. Exhale, plant your palms onto the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, look forward, step your right foot forward, drop your left knee to the floor. Scissor your inner thighs together as you rise up. So you're hugging the muscles of your legs in towards your bones. And now lower your palms towards the floor. Pull up onto the ball of your left foot. Step all the way forward. Inhale halfway. And exhale, fold. Root down through the four corners of your feet to rise all the way up. Your arms reach for the sky. Exhale your hands to your heart center. Mountain pose. Take your hands alongside your body. This time, inhale, sink low into a chair pose and pause here. Pause here. Sink your hips just a few inches deeper than your body wants to go. So you get past that point of comfort and into a place that really feels like there's some work happening. Slowly waterfall your torso down, plant your palms on the earth and let your head hang heavy. Inhale, lift your heart halfway. Exhale, plant your palms. This time, step your legs back into a high plank, but right away, drop your knees onto the floor. Stick your bum up like your dog wagging its tail. Drop your chest and your chin to the floor. And meanwhile, your elbows are out like chicken wings on the side. Now turn the tops of your feet onto the floor. Flatten your whole body onto the earth. Lift your shoulders up and back. Spread across your chest. This is baby cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Drop the crown of your head on the floor and step your hands back an entire handprint. So now they're beside your rib cage. Suck your elbows in towards one another. Drape your shoulder blades back. Push down through your pubic bone, your toes, and your hands. Inhale, rise up. It's such a small movement. Exhale, lower back down. One more time. Inhale, lift your chin, your chest. Exhale, lower back down. Now flex your feet, press into your hands and your knees, lift up into a low plank, push back through a child's pose, root up, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Lift your gaze forward. Step your right foot between your hands. Stay on the ball of your left foot. Scissor your inner thighs together. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead. Now you're in a high lunge. Work on driving your inner thighs up and back, dropping your tailbone down, plugging your belly button in, and rising and lifting across your chest. Now lower both hands to the earth, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, look forward as you step your left foot between your hands. Squeeze your inner thighs together, push down to rise up. There's this constant rebounding action to get the lift. Stabilize here by really lengthening through your right leg and bending deep into your left knee. Breathe in, breathe out. Your hands settle onto the earth. Step your right foot forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Sink your hips low, reach your arms high. We've come full circle, chair pose again. Hold here, breathe here, a little lower than usual for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, come all the way up to standing. Plant your hands at your heart, close your eyes, just settle into your breath again. Blink, open your eyes, step your big toes together and leave just a sliver of space between your heels. Hands are still pushing into one another at heart center. Sink down into your chair pose. Good. Lengthen through the crown of your head and start to rotate towards the left. So that means that your right elbow tracks over your left thigh. Now, if you need to take your feet wider to do this, that's okay. And the rotation is coming from your mid spine. So can you start to drive your ribs up towards the sky, your left ribs up towards the sky before you turn your gaze up? Squeeze your kneecaps in towards one another and breathe for 5, 4, hips are nice and low, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come through center. Straighten your legs, reach your arms up. Inhale, this is your break. Exhale, fold back down into your chair pose. Pause here. Inhale to lengthen up and out through the crown of your head. Exhale, rotate in the opposite direction. Use the resistance of your own body to dive deeper into that spinal twist. Rotating your right ribs now towards the sky. Reach the crown of your head forward and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, come through center nice and slow. It's harder that way. Reach your arms up, straighten your legs. Exhale, swan dive down to the floor. Inhale, lift your heart halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step into plank pose, hold in either high plank or low plank with your knees on the floor. Pause here. And whichever variation you've chosen, can you puff between your shoulder blades, lift your gaze forward and engage the muscles of your legs. Breathe your belly towards your spine. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, drop your knees and slowly slide your whole body onto your yoga mat. Take your hands outside of your yoga mat. So your fingers, all 10 fingers are pressing onto the floor just outside your yoga mat, and separate your feet nice and wide. Your elbows are perched up towards the sky. Inhale, loop your shoulders back, lift your heart, lift your chest, lift your gaze. Exhale, fold, let it go. Keep moving through this action just like you did in cat-cow. Imagine that you're moving your body through honey. Really slow, really sticky. And you can keep going vertical, or you might start to drop one shoulder and turn your gaze over the opposite shoulder as you lift up. And if you do that, please do it on the other side in the opposite direction too. Good. Slowly find your way all the way down onto your belly. Take your hands beside you, maybe beneath your head. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to your lower back. Breathe here. Slide your hands down so they're just beside your ribs. Flex your feet. Two versions to come up. One, you can push your knees, your toes, and your hands into the floor to lift up into a low plank. Or two, you press your toes and your hands into the floor, lifting up into a high plank. Either way, lots of core work before you drift back into downward dog. In downward dog, take your right leg, reach your right leg high, bend your right knee, open that right hip, look under your right armpit, breathe in. And now as you breathe out, slowly, slowly step your right foot between your hands and turn your left toes to face the left long edge of your yoga mat. You can align your right heel with the arch of your left foot before you sweep your arms and your torso all the way up for warrior two. And draw your tailbone down, your belly hugs in, bend far into your right knee. Spread your fingers wide, look over your right fingertips and breathe here, holding here for 5, 4, 3, your shoulders are set right above your hips, 2, on 1, sink a little deeper into your right knee. Bend your right elbow, place it down onto your right thigh and stretch your left arm up alongside your left ear. Squeeze your inner thighs towards one another, push through the outside edge of your back foot and reach, like really reach through your left fingertips, finding that connectedness from the outer edge of your left foot all the way up your left lateral line into your left pinky finger. If you feel really strong, you might take your right arm up alongside your right ear, but that means you need to do more work to rotate your left ribs up. Breathing wherever you are for 3, 2, on 1. Force down through the soles of your feet, straighten both arms and both legs. Pause here. Now begin to tilt forward like you're pouring a teapot. Reach your right hands forward before you take your right fingers to your shin or prop. Meanwhile, your left arm stretches up towards the sky. When you get there, can you push your pubic bone forward, engage your right leg, and hug your right knee up towards your hip? Good. If you feel a lot of your weight collapsing onto that right leg, I challenge you to take your right hand away from the leg and float it in space. You're just creating a whole bunch of triangle shapes in your body here. Breathe for 3, 2, on 1, force down through the soles of your feet, lift all the way back up. Good. And let's take our left hand down our back thigh, reach your right arm up and over. This is exalted triangle. Return back through center. Step your left leg halfway up your yoga mat and take your feet wide. Your feet are nice and wide here, almost mat distance apart. Rotate your pelvis forward and begin to hinge forward. Your hands come to the floor. Maybe your hands come to a block. Blocks are really handy in this revolved triangle shape. Now you can stay here, really stressing the tissues along the back of your right hamstring, or maybe begin to walk your left hand to the outside of your right foot. I like to physically take my right thumb and press it into my right hip to drive my right hip back, and then take my hand on my right ribs and pull them up before I reach my right hand to the sky. Full revolved triangle pose. Breathe here for 5, 4, really good, 3, 2, on 1. Carefully place both hands onto the floor. Move your prop out to the side if you have one. Lean your weight forward and pick up your back leg. Turn your back toes to face the floor. A micro bend in your right knee can help. Squeeze your inner thighs up and back, and then use core strength and so much stability. Your eyes are set on something still to lift your hands towards your heart. Your hands can stay at your heart or reach back alongside your body. You're in warrior 3. Hold here, breathe here for 5, 4, come back in if you fall out. You're doing great. 3, 2, and 1. Step to the top of your yoga mat. Find your way up to mountain pose. Pause there. Pause there in mountain pose. Close your eyes and just feel. Open your eyes. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive back down to the floor. Inhale, lift your heart halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step back into your plank pose, high plank or low plank. Pause there, breathe there. 5 breaths. If you haven't already, please drop your knees and then let your whole body fall onto the floor, forehead included. Reach your arms back behind you, interlace your hands behind your back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, bring your big toes to touch. Inhale, pull everything away from the floor. You're rising up maybe just a few inches or millimeters even, but to a place where you feel an opening across your chest and a big compression in your lower back. Now you could stay here, or you might take it even further by bending into both knees, catching your ankles or the outside edges of your feet. Both variations do the same thing, so find one that causes no pain but gives you a big, deep stretch. 3 more breaths. Good. Release either cheek to the floor. Let your whole body land flat. Wiggle out your bum, soften. Plant your palms beside your ribs, Flex your feet. With or without your knees, push yourself up into high plank. Float back, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg to the sky. Exhale, open that hip, drop your heel towards your bum, look under your left armpit, push the floor away with your hands. And now step your left foot between your palms, turn your right toes to face the right long edge of your yoga mat. Glue the 4 corners of your feet to the floor before you rise up. Warrior 2. In Warrior 2, your shoulders are above your hips. Your left knee is above your left ankle, and your right outside edge of your foot is really pushing down into the floor. Squeeze your inner thighs together so you're activating, you're engaging your inner groin adductors, and hold here. Good. Pull your tailbone under so you almost feel like your pubic bone is lifting up towards your belly button. Drop your left elbow onto your left thigh and stretch your right arm up alongside your right ear. Push the outside edge of your right foot into the earth. Reach your right fingers up into space. Option A, stay here. Option B, extend your left arm up alongside your left ear. Pause, breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Root down, reach and rise back up. Your arms and your legs are straight here. Stretch your left fingers forward, and then like you're pouring a cup of tea from a teapot, drop that left hand down as you reach your right arm up. You might choose to look up or down or right out in front, but the work we're seeking is through that side body. So if you don't feel a stretch in your outer right side body, can you try drawing your left hip under, maybe pressing firmer through your right foot, or pushing your pubic bone forward? Press firm into both feet, rise back up. Here you are in standing. Take your right hand down your back thigh, lift your left arm up and over. Beautiful. Come back through center. Bring your right leg with you. Step your right foot halfway up your yoga mat and really separate your feet a confident distance apart as you rotate your pelvis forward. From there, fold forward. Your hands come to the floor, maybe onto a block. You could stay here, or you drive this into rotation by taking your right hand to the outside edge of your left foot and pushing your left hip back to rotate your left ribs up, and your left arm will follow. Breathing wherever you are for 5, 4, a micro bend in the knee is okay here. 2, and 1. Replace your hands back down on the floor. Bend into your left knee, lift your right leg up, zip your belly into your spine, lift through your chest. Can you walk your hands away from the floor and find stability in Warrior 3? Stumble and fumble your way through. We're holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step to the top of your yoga mat. Take your hands alongside your body. Give yourself a big breath in and exhale. Inhale, sweep both arms up high. Exhale, dive back down to the floor. Inhale, lift your heart halfway. Exhale, plant your palms, step into downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, reach your right leg high to the sky. And as you exhale, drop your right knee behind your right wrist for pigeon pose. Your left leg will stretch back as your torso stays upright or comes down. If that hurts your joints, just lean onto your right hip, bend your left knee, and take this 90-90 shape. It's called deer pose instead. 5 breaths in this big lateral hip stretch. Thank you. Press your hands into the floor. Pull your body up and back, downward dog. If you really want to flow through a vinyasa, now is the time to do it. Otherwise, stay in downward dog, catch your breath. Eventually, you can lift your left leg high and soar that left knee forward, finding your pigeon pose on the other side. Your left knee should be to the left of your left hip. The sensation is along your outer left hip. And if you can't feel it, drop your weight onto the left hip, bend your right knee, set up your legs in this 90-90 shape, and try deer pose instead. 5 breaths wherever you go. Slowly, slowly rise back up. Lean onto your left hip just so that you can drive your right leg forward and place the sole of your right foot into the sole of your left foot for Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. Hug your heels in towards your pelvis. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, fold forward. Keep grounding through your sits bones as you start to lengthen your spine up and out of your torso, driving your belly towards your thighs. I hope you feel something through your inner groin here. Breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull your body back upright. Slide your knees together and stretch your legs directly out in front for staff pose. Now your pinky edge sides of your feet are pulling in. Inhale, lift your arms high. Exhale, hinge forward. Maybe you catch your feet or your shins. Wherever you decide to go, start with a really long, straight spine, and you might choose to round. 5 breaths. Release your hands from your legs, walk them back up your body, and please find your way down onto your yoga mat. When you get there, hug your knees into your chest and rock your body left to right. Let your knees fall all the way over towards the right. Open your arms wide. Look over your left fingertips if that feels okay. Take a few moments here. Squeeze your knees back through center. Shift your hips right. Drop your knees left. Maybe your gaze turns right as well. A few breaths here. Pull your knees back through center one final time. Readjust your body, either coming directly into final shavasana or taking a few breaths in any final shapes or movements your body's craving. Eventually, you will drop your whole body down flat on the earth for shavasana, corpse pose. One of my yoga teachers told me a story once about monkeys in India and how they would trap them by placing out jars filled with snacks. And the little monkeys would reach their hands into the jars and grab all these nuts and snacks and grip them all in their hands. And then when they tried to pull their hands out of the jar, they couldn't. All they had to do was let go of their grip, let go of a few little snacks or treats, and they'd be able to slide their hands out, but they never would. And so the monkeys would get trapped in the jars. And the moral of this story is that I'd like you to just relax your hands and imagine that your hand is in a jar and you're holding on to something that's trapping you. You're holding on to something that you don't need, that's bringing you less joy than good. And can you just imagine that you're letting that go? And the moment you open your palm and let that go, you can slip your hand out of the jar and be free. What do you need to let go of to be free? 2 minutes in Shavasana. Enjoy. If you want to enjoy a longer Shavasana tonight, by all means, just close your device and linger here until you wake up in the morning if you'd like. Otherwise, can you start to wiggle your fingers and your toes? Move your head from left to right. Inhale, reach both arms way up overhead. Stretch your body nice and long. Exhale, soften and relax. Roll onto the right side of your body. Take a breath here. And pull yourself all the way up to a cross-legged seat. Catch your hands at your heart center. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Thank you all for practicing.